Hi, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Our devotion for today, July 20th, 2022, is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 20, verses 1 through 16. For the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a house who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for a denarii a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And going out about the third hour, he saw others standing idly in the marketplace. And he said to them, "You go into the vineyard too, and whatever is right I will give you." And so they went. Going out again about the 6th hour and the 9th hour, he did the same. And about the 11th hour, he went out, and he found others standing. And he said to them, "Why do you stand here idle all day?" And they said to him, "Because no one has hired us." And he said to them, "You go into the vineyard too." And when evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Call the laborers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last up to the first." And when those hired at the 11th hour came, each of them received a denarii. Now when those hired first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received a denarius. And on receiving it, they grumbled at the master of the house, saying, "These last worked for only an hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But he replied to one of them, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this last worker as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do with what I choose with what belongs to me? Do you begrudge my generosity? So the last will be first, and the first last." Our devotion today teaches about the generosity and grace of God. Jesus tells a parable about a man who owns a vineyard and hires workers at several different times during the day. The workers he hired first, agreed to be hired for 1 denarii for the day. The vineyard owner told those hired at the other times of the day that he would pay them whatever was right. The last group of workers were hired with an hour to go before the day ended. Finally, when the workday did end, the vineyard owner began to pay the workers, beginning with the last who were hired. He paid the last hired the same amount he paid all the other workers, including those who were hired first. Those first hired complained because they had worked the whole day in the scorching heat for the amount those who were hired at the end of the day were paid. But the vineyard owner countered that he had done them no wrong at all because they had received the pay for what exactly they had agreed to. They were paid fully according to the contract they made with the vineyard owner. The others were paid according to the generosity and the grace of the vineyard owner. If he wanted to pay the same amount, doesn't he have the right to do so? Doesn't he have the right to be generous with his money if he wants to be generous? Now, Jesus is the vineyard owner in the parable. The vineyard is the earth, and the vineyard workers are those who believe in the gospel and work in the vineyard, so it'll produce fruit for the vineyard owner. If Jesus wants to pay, that is, reward with forgiveness and salvation, those believers who come to faith in the last hour of the workday, the same as he pays with the forgiveness and salvation those who first came to faith, isn't that his prerogative? Doesn't he have the right to do with his grace as he wishes? The fact that he does wish to do this is what's important. We who believe today receive the same reward as the first disciples received. Our salvation, our forgiveness is the same. And shouldn't you and I be glad about this? Because we are not among the first believers, that's for sure. But we seem to be nearing the last group of believers to work in the vineyard. But our reward, our pay, will be the same as those who came to faith at the beginning. The same forgiveness, the same salvation. Go in peace, serve the Lord.